afternoon, everybody. First of all, really sorry for the delay. The heat is causing us some problems, giving us some technical issues. This room is, if I said probably nuclear, it's really, really warm. So if we all look a bit jaded, that's why. Thanks for joining us. I'm here to talk to you and to craft with you with the new Papercraft Society box that I was lucky enough to curate for some of my crafty friends. And we did it in conjunction with Mental Health UK. They are one of the biggest mental health charities in the country. Four charities combined to make the one charity, and they deal with mental health from every single issue. And I know from personal experience that how important crafting can be when you are suffering with your mental health. And it might just be you've been through a bad experience and you start crafting, or crafting gets you through the bad days. But that's what we're going to do today. We're going to craft. I'm going to give you a really quick look at the box. Here it is. Anybody who knows me knows I'm absolutely fanatical about sunflowers. So I was lucky enough to be able to choose the theme for this box. So we've got the fabulous blues, we've got this lovely yellow. I'm not going to show you everything because if you've already got the box, you'll have seen it. And if you haven't got the box, you really need to get it to see what's in it. But I'll show you very quickly. You have card, you have paper, you've got stamps, you've got dies, you've got toppers. It's a really, really beautiful box. And I was even more lucky to work alongside some of my crafty friends with this. Helen Griffin from SMC joined us. Sam Calcott from Made to Surprise did projects for us. John from John Next Door was kind enough to do some projects for us. Luke Collins, our own Luke Collins, who excuse me if I start to sort of run water down my face, it is really warm. So the only thing I've added in to this box, other than exactly what's in the box, is some black cardstock, basic cardstock, white basic cardstock, my black ink, a colouring medium of some kind, so that could be a pound set of pencil crayons through to a full set of Copics. That's entirely up to you. So those are really the things I've added in. Obviously I needed a stamp block and you need a die cutting machine as well. So let's start with some die cutting. So I have taken the large sunflower from here and I've actually pre-cut this, but I'm going to cut one so you can see just how good these dies are. So I've got the large and the small sunflower, and I've got the large and the small leaf. And I'm just going to run through those through the machine. So again, those of you who know me know I'm a pretty frugal crafter. I like to use up all my pieces of card. So I've got two really small pieces of card. I always say cut your card as small as you can so that you're not wasting any. I could probably get two or three more flowers on there, but I'm not going to go and do that today. So now I've got my dies upside down. Some people do it the other way around, but on most machines it will work either way. So I'm just going to wind this through the Sizzix. Because it's quite a distance away, I'm going to wind it through and then I'm going to wind it back. So make sure I don't have to leap over the end of the table then. Okay, so these dies are fabulous quality. They are the same quality that you would get in any other product. So that's what I wanted you to see, how easy. So they've literally just dropped out completely of the paper. So let's get that. Let's move that out of the way now. Down there. Okay. So I've done one just so that you can see how well they cut. And not only do they cut well, but they've also got real detail in them. So all the scoring and the centre of your flower is all there for you. So you need to do very little work. And I think with a box like this, for me, I wanted it to be that you could take it out, do something really quickly if you wanted to, or if you felt the need to do a big project. I was going to do a pen pot today, but I couldn't get my gravy pot empty quick enough, so unfortunately we can't do one. So those are the shapes you will get. You get this beautiful sunflower, the smaller sunflower. So I've used, I think, 4 of these, 2 of these, and a couple of leaves. I would probably put some more leaves on, but we'll do just with a couple today. So I've taken a 5x7 black card blank, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually layer up these mats and layers that I've cut from my paper and from my cardstock. So again, trying to use as little as possible of my paper and of my cards so that I'm going to make it sort of stretch a bit further. So let's get sticking some of these on. So I'm just going to do them very quickly with double-sided tape. Obviously you would take a lot more time and stick them down a lot more securely. So if you have trouble lining up, put it on your mat, just find a corner and then work with that top corner, and usually, if all goes to plan, yeah, once you've got that top corner lined up, everything lines up alongside it. So another piece of tape. We're gonna, I think whoever invented double-sided tape should get a knighthood. It's the best thing ever. If you're a new crafter and you're thinking, oh, I couldn't do that and I wouldn't get it straight and then it would look a mess, get yourself a glue stick, any glue stick, and I'll show you in a minute exactly what I do with it. I'm sure there are crafters out there that know this tip, but we always have to remember that there's always new people coming into papercraft, and tips that more seasoned crafters know and remember the newbies amongst us. So I've got a little bit of a rough edge there. So I'm just going to take that down a little bit. There we go. So, and then again, line up. I'll show you the sticky, wasn't I? Oh, sticky. There he is. So, all you need to do is just run a glue stick along your tape. That gives you time to line everything up, gives you what we call in the trade wiggle time. So you get a perfect line up, but you still get the grab that you would get from double-sided tape. So I'm going to leave that on for the minute. So I've got all my mats and layers. I have got measurements from them all, but rather than go through them now, I will pop them on my Facebook page, or we can pop them on the Papercraft Society page. So again, I'm going to line these up. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a framework using small pieces of paper like this to make a really clever card front, and you're actually making your CraftStash go a lot further. So put that one on there like that. I think my bigger one went at the top, if I remember rightly, and my little one at the bottom. So bit of tape on there, and I'm so tidy to start with, but I'll be in a mess by the time we finish. One on there. So those who know me will know that I got into crafting because of a very bad experience in my life. Crafting brought me through it. Crafting's brought me lots of friends. It's brought me my career, my second career. And I think if you can craft, it's a really good time to just have for yourself, however busy your life is. Okay, so sunflowers. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my, excuse me for bobbing up and down, I've got a tray down there with my goodies in. The first thing I'm going to do is just push my petals into the centre, like that. And then I'm actually going to bring the ends back out. So you can do this around a pencil, you can do it with a pair of scissors if you're careful, and you can do it with I'm using an embossing tool. So you could, if you've got all the really clever fancy stuff, use a big ball tool and your rubber mats and that sort of thing, but I'm keeping this really simple so that it's something that everybody can have a go at. So I'll push them up. You don't want all of the layers to be pushed up. We'll do that one as well. And then with this one, I'm actually just going to pop it in the middle of my hand and I'm just going to put my thumb into it, and that gives that nice outward curl on it, and the same with that one. Now I'm going to do this with my glue gun, just for speed, if it will reach, I think it will, just for speed, but you could use foam pads, you could use silicone, any of the branded silicones as well. If you have a look on CraftStash, I'm sure we sell quite a few different ones. So I've just offset petals slightly. I'm going to do this one the same. So I say this is really for speed more than anything. So another offset on there, like that. So that's the main part of my flower is starting to come together. And all I'm going to do now so that's stuck, let's just make sure. I'll leave that stick for a minute and we'll deal with these. So I've got the centres for the sunflower as well. So I don't think I'm going to use my big one, I think I'm just going to use my smaller one. So again, a little bit of, you want something clear for this bit because you can actually see through it. And the idea is that in your box, there is a box of microbeads, and you can add your microbeads to the centre as well. So I'll put that on there, bit off centre that one, but the great thing with flowers is, even in nature, they're not perfect. So you can have your flowers looking as pristine as you want, or you can have them like me, where they always look a little bit jaded. I think it's the heat today, even sunflowers are wilting in this heat. I actually, as I left home this morning, there's a little city allotment by us, and I actually noticed that one of the guys has got the most amazing display of sunflowers I've ever seen. So I know where I'll be going when I get home. Go and have a little walk round. Okay, so I'm adding my centres now. So my first one in, and then my second one will go in, and again offset. Like that. Pop it in, turn it round so it's offset, and there's my sunflower. And I can then go in and do some pinching. So on the actual picture that I've put on my Facebook page, you'll see that I've sort of pinched the leaves, the petals, sorry. I'm not going to stand and do them all now because I'll just bore you. So that's my flower. It's moved a little bit, but that's fine. So again, I'm going to put it on with some double-sided glue. I tend to use a branded silicone for this because I like the effect that it gives. But I'm doing this, it does take a little while to dry if you use silicone. So I'm just curling my leaves a little bit, and then if it's a little bit like that, just push it up the nozzle of your, there we go, one there. Ooh, that one bent, so we can just put a bit on the end, and we're going to pop him up here. Now I'd probably, at home, I'd probably put another one on either side, but that's the basis of the card. And then the next bit is to actually stamp your little greeting. So I'm going to mount this piece of white onto this piece of yellow. Again, for speed, you might want to do your stamping first so that you're not wasting your yellow card if it goes wrong. And if it does go wrong, it's just a happy accident. There's always a way to cover it up. A butterfly, or cut one of the little flowers out. Lots of ways to do it. Okay, so I'm going to use my stamp platform, which is looking a little bit worn, but let's find my happy birthday. The great thing with stamp platforms is you can work out whether your stamps are going to fit or not. Get it the right way around, that might help. we go. So my happy birthday just fits perfectly on there. So close up my platform, put that up. Ink is the next thing I need. So I say these are the basics that I've used. Now I don't know, I'm a bit worried that these might be a bit dry because it's so hot, but we'll give it a try. Oh no, we're getting quite good coverage on there. So light tapping, turn it over, squish it down. Now again, you'll find stamp platforms like this on CraftStash. It's just great because you're not wasting card worrying that it's not in the right place. So that's my little happy birthday. And then this one I am going to put on with a little bit of foam tape on there like that. Pop that on there because I'll probably end up putting my elbow in it. So, and pop that on there, and that's your first card finished.
Show the audience a close up of the cards and you can see that.
Oh, okay.
Detail.
Sorry. Which, this one?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you see that? Is that better? There you go. Steph and Johnny, my lovely tech team this afternoon, are pointing me in the right direction. It's a little while since I've done this. Okay, so that was card number 1. So what I've purposely done is not done projects that are in the booklet, because they belong to my wonderful colleagues. So I've done my take, if you like, on the cards. So what shall we do next? Shall we do a top of card? And that may make some of you smile. But this is a really quick win for a card, and it's done in no time, and it's a great effect. So I have used some of the blue paper for this one from the box, and again, back to little bits that I've got left. I've got a 6x6 12.5 by 12.5 centimetre card blank. Again, put some tape on and find the end. Even tape, I'm sure you're all crafting in the heat at home. I know one of our lovely crafters from TV said last night that she was actually crafting in her underwear, which was quite funny. And I can well believe it, knowing who it was. But yeah, it is very hot. I bet a lot of you are crafting out in the garden, which is always lovely. A nice long glass of lemonade or wine or whatever your tipple is next to you. So, all I've done here is matted a piece of yellow card onto a piece of white. And I've left a border around 3 sides and no border really at the bottom, because I'm going to do this as a tent style card. So the first piece to go on, and I'm going to do this with my, glue gel because it's just quicker. So again, you will take a lot more time and do it a lot more quickly. Now then, little trick. If you're going to do this and you're going to layer up several layers, don't cut the layers to the exact size that you want them, for the simple reason that they never fit exactly for some reason. I think they call it Sod's Law, is that it won't fit. So if you leave them all a little bit too long, just making sure this card opens the right way. That one on there. So I've just ripped some scraps that I've got left, and just layered up a design with them. So this is really simple. So my paper then goes on there. So what you can see now is I've left a bit at the bottom. So you need then to turn over to the back and cut from the back, and you will get a perfect finish. If you line up with the bottom of your card, don't cut the bottom of your card, I do that regularly, like that. you will get a perfect finish every time. Let's get that out of the way. So I said this was a quick and simple. This is a very quick and simple. So the quality of these toppers is really good. So you will find that you can actually shape them with your fingers. So you can get some shape into your leaves, so you don't need any fancy tools. Toppers are a great way to start crafting because you get a good result very quickly. So let's put a bit of tape on the back of that one. So that one is going to go in the top corner of my card. Which way shall we go? I think we'll go down like that. So it doesn't matter that I'm overlaying the pattern because we're putting a bit more of the pattern in. There's my flower. I thought I'd lost my flower then. So I hope those of you that have already got your box have started using it already. I know a lot of people get them and they save them till weekend, or they save them until they've got some time to themselves. I get a bit impatient. I want to be in there and then. So I might do that one pointing upward to bring those leaves back in. So you're getting that depth and dimension really quickly just by using a little bit of tape. So I've got one of the tags, nearly put the glue on the wrong end then, from the set. I'm going to put some hot glue on the end of there, give it a little bend like that, pop that underneath the leaves like that, and then the other thing I didn't say that I'm going to use is a little bit of bling, because you can't have cards without a little bit of bling. So just three. Even the gems are playing up in the heat. Let's do it with the scissors. Everything sticks to everything. Ah, there we go. So I'm going to pop on there. Come on, baby, be good to me. Yep. One there. And one there. Now, again, crafters will know this, who've been crafting a while, but if you've never crafted before, odd numbers work better visually than even numbers do. And I might do just a little one down here, just to bring that corner in. They are sticking to everything, including me. There. And there we go, card number 2. Really quick one, really simple, no special skills needed. Just use your toppers, use your papers, rip them up, and make yourself a card. So that's card number 2. One thing, if I've got a piece of card, I do want to show you. Bear with me for a little minute. When you're tearing card, and this is really clever, not me being clever, it's the card being clever. When you tear card, if you tear it toward you, like that, you get a white edge, like that. If you tear it away from you, the piece you want keeps a coloured edge. So just remember that. If you don't like that white edge, tear it the other way and you'll get a clean edge like that. Just a quick tip that. I do like quick tips. Okay, how are we doing for time, guys? Do number 3? Should we do some stamping, I think? I told you I'd be in a mess very quickly. Okay, let's get number 3. So with this one, I'm a real fan at the moment of a type of card called CAS, or CAS, clean and simple. So what we're going to do is do a card that, again, very little effort, but you're going to get a really nice finish with it. So let's find the little project pack, which is here. So these project packs Anybody who demonstrates uses them. But they're really good if you're going away, or you may be going to a craft club or something of that type. If you make little packs up like this, you'll know that you've got exactly what you want in that pack to make that card, because invariably if you just take your craft kit and you think, oh, I'll just take some stuff with me, you don't have what you need. So let's get rid of those two. Pop that on there. First we'll do this one. So I've got just a plain piece of white card, and I've cut it so that my sunflower fits almost perfectly. So you can, to use an old term, finagle it around like that. Pop that over, pick my sunflower up. I'm just going to hold that in place, and then with my ink, I'm going to just think that's drying out already because of the heat. Let's get another one. I just think that to be able to craft with products of this calibre, all in a box where everything matches for me. Again, great idea to take it on holiday with you, so that you've got everything. So all you need is white cardstock. I put some black in because I'm a fan of black cards. So yeah, I'm just going to do that once more. The pads are quite dry. So this is the beauty of your stamp platform, is that we can go back and do it again. And hopefully, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So I've used Memento ink there. And what that means is I can then add alcohol colour to it. Now, the one I made as a sample of this took me about an hour and a half to colour in. I'm not going to bore you to death today by doing that. I've used a mixture of pens. I've used some Spectrum Noir Colorista. I've used some Spectrum Noir alcohol pens. And I am just going to do a really quick colouring job on this. I'm not even going to think about it. So we've got the dark bit in there, and then I want my golden. So my coloristas are yellows as well. Yellows are alcohol as well. So I should be able to mix the two. So I'm going to put some pale yellow just to bring that orange down a little bit. I tend to colour with little flicks so that you don't get sort of massive lumps of colour. But as I said earlier, whatever level you're at, if you're using a set of pencil crayons, or you're using a set of felt tips or anything, you can colour in with virtually any medium, and you will get really nice results. And that's because the stamps are such good quality, and the images and the artwork that we've put into them are just perfect. I've gone over the lines. Don't go over the lines, rule one. But it's really difficult to try and colour in quickly, and particularly as well when it is getting hotter by the minute. These poor guys that are sat behind the cameras must be melting. So let's put some green in as well. So bring that in. Keep that one dark green, and then we want some flicked. So start your flick off your paper, and then you get a sort of finer line. And I should have another green here somewhere. Yep. My husband laughs, so I get my pens out, like 200 pens to colour in a flower this size. He's like, I just don't understand. That might be the same one. No, that's fine. But again, going back to the mental health aspect of crafting, if you're anything like me, you get into your own world, everything goes away, you don't think about anything apart from the bits of card. And I sometimes spend time in my craft room and I don't make anything, but I am so relaxed when I've done, and that probably sound a bit weird to non-crafters, but it's just having that time just to spend for yourself. Just put a little bit more orange in there and just blend that in. I promise you I'm not going to take all day on this. So a nice bit of blend in there. So now the one I've already done is if you like a true cast, because it's got just purely one layer between the white and the image and nothing else. If you wanted to take this further, you could actually add more mats and layers. You could add an embossing folder background if you have them, so that you can actually build on these cards really nicely. But the great thing I like about them is that they're flat, so they don't cost a fortune to post. They look really smart, and I must admit, keeping a white piece of card without any marks on for me is quite hard. So I have to be really careful. Let's use this piece of paper. Not to put it down. If you've had ink on your desk, make sure you put your card down on a piece of paper so that you don't pick up the ink, or have a good clean down before you have a go at cleaning simple cards. And for those of us who are short on time, they're also a great time saver. So you can do a card in a very short time, but it will look amazing. So I'm just going to mat that on. So again, line up, or you can use your glue if you want to. Line up your top corner like that, and if you've got everything right, slightly out, but yeah, I'm fine with that. So a bit more tape on the back. So I'm going to put this sort of off centre. I could do this either way, but I'm going to put it off centre, and again you'd put more tape on than I'm doing, but this just moves it along a bit quicker. Slightly off centre, like that, and sort of, so it comes sort of 3/4 of the way down, so you can see how I'm sort of building the design. So now I know I got, yeah, there it is. It's always a fear that, particularly with clear stamps like this, you look for your stamp and it's nowhere to be seen. Now this is where you need to be careful, and I'm going to get wet wipe because I've got ink on my platform. So I'm just going to take that off to make sure I don't get ink on my card. So I've just got the word sunflower, and I'm going to pop it ish where I want it. Try and get it straight. I always say that my eyes are not in straight because things invariably end up wonky. And then we're just going to leave our card where it is. Just fasten it in place. And then see, I have got a mark on that already. That's because I didn't clean this bit. So do be careful if you decide to have a go at this. You have to be really careful now. So ignore the footprints, the fingerprints. That would have been a clean and simple card had I cleaned up, and you will clean everything properly. And that's card number 3 for you. So a nice simple one. The close-up will just show you the marks that are on it. But with your colouring in, sunflowers are a really great starter for if you're just learning to colour, because the blend on them is really good. So it works really well. So how are we doing? Have we got time for another one?
Got time for another one, yeah.
Excellent. Let's go for another one then. Working hard today. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. I haven't got a sample of this one. Just got a little picture. Now I have to be honest and say this one isn't my idea, but I really liked the idea, so I decided to give it a go. And it's something I haven't done before, so bear with. we never know how this might come out. Let's have a bit of a clean up before we start. Put my stamp there. Okay, thing. Right. So with this one, I have got a lemon 4x6 card blank. I've got a piece of white card that's been cut slightly smaller, and I think I'm actually going to trim that at the side because I've got bigger margins at the bottom than I have at the sides. And then I have the big sunflower stamp. Well, you can see that on the card. I've got to a special person, and I've also got the die that says thanks a bunch because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to put on the card. So, and then I've got 2 bits of card, I don't know why, and I've got a little bit of bling there as well. So let's see if this is going to work. And I'm really sorry, I can't remember the name of the lady whose idea this was, but I will find out and I will actually mention her. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit off with my little guillotine. These are great for putting in your bag if you're going to sort of craft on the move rather than a really big one. Yeah, that's better. I don't like it when it's uneven. So what I'm going to do, if I can get hold of this, I'm going to fix this in place. I'm going to put, it's really dirty on that side, I'm going to put a piece of yellow in the middle there. Am I far enough up? Yeah. And then I'm going to use my, I was going to use my magnets, I've just decided to, there we go. I'm going to use my magnet sort of in the centre to hold it in place. Now if you don't use a stamp platform, you can do this exactly the same. You would just use some quick release tape just to actually place, to hold everything in place, because it's got to stay in place or it doesn't work, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's about where I want it. So I've got the sunflower, the big sunflower, I've got it overlapping onto the yellow, if you can see that. I'm going to move that slightly because I'm going to move this down. I don't want a full sunflower on either of the pieces, that's better. So, keep your fingers crossed now guys, because never done this before, might work, might not. But that's the great thing about crafting. At the end of the day, it doesn't work, it's a piece of card and I've lost nothing. The difference is that I'm doing it live to hopefully some people, and you'd be doing it at home in the privacy of your craft room or lounge or bedroom, wherever you craft. So I'm not happy with the centre of that. It looks as if it's missed. Actually, it hasn't missed. It's the way the stamp is. It just makes it look as if it's missed. But no, happy with that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same at the bottom, but what I don't want to do is lay this on my, so you see if I was at home I'd have wiped that on my dress. That's really naughty. So let's just get that a bit clean.
Got a lot of love for the sunflowers.
Really?
Comments, yeah.
Oh, fabulous. I think sunflowers, you can't help but smile when you see sunflowers. I say this morning, I was leaving home at like 10 to 7 and I saw this field of sunflower, well it's not a field, it's an allotment of sunflowers, and I just immediately sort of broke out into a daft grin because it just made me feel really cheerful. So I'm glad there's lots of love for them. It is a lovely box. I mean, our Papercraft Society boxes are amazing and there's a lot of work goes into them, but obviously because I've been involved with this one I'm a little bit biased, but we have some amazing crafters. It's well worth subscribing because you will get a different crafter every month. It's not the same people doing the crafting all the time. So, yeah, I think that might be alright. So now the key now is to get this stuck down in exactly the same place as it was. So, wish me luck and we'll go in. Again, you will do a lot more taping than I'm doing, but I don't want you to stand and watch me putting 4 bits of tape on a piece of card. So quick and simple. Everything is sticking to things it shouldn't stick to at the moment. So I've got to now line this back up. So if you're trying to line something up, find a straight line. Obviously in a flower they're curved lines, but find a line that corresponds, and that's about right. Okay, so we can get rid of that for now. And then what I'm going to do, if I've got them, I have. So I was looking at these and I thought they don't have to be just sunflowers, as much as I love sunflowers. But you could actually, with this one, you could do a yellow centre and leave the petals white, and you'd have a daisy. I'm going to do some hot pink, just because I can. So I've got a couple of shades. And again, so flowers are always deepest where the petals join and where you get this striation that's going on. That's the lines that go through the flower, but just in those corners like that. Now I'm only going to take that colour just onto the very edge of there, and then I'm going to, and again, colouring should be quite organic. I am blending, these are Spectrum Noir. I was going to say crayons, but they're coloured pencils, as I've been told. We get in trouble for saying crayons, but they are pencil crayons. But again, you could be doing this with a really simple set of pencil crayons. Raid the kids' bedroom if you haven't got any, see what the kids have got. I think my first set of pencil crayons was about £1. So don't think that you've got to spend a fortune to get any of these effects, because you don't. But if you want to spend a fortune, CraftStash will have everything that I've used today. Okay, not going to put any other colour in the yellow part. Gosh, this is definitely speed colouring. Yours will look so much better. So with this one, I'm actually going to colour into the yellow. So I need a little bit more pressure to bring the colour through. So I'm getting almost a colour reverse effect. So I'll bring that in and a little bit there. Just going to have a sneaky peek now. Does mine look like the ladies? It does, yeah. I'm quite pleased. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of colour into the centre, just to give that different look. So if you think, well, I really like that, but I'm not mad on bright yellow flowers, so change the colour. You can do these in whatever colour you want. The other thing with these sort of cards is they're great stash builders. So if you know you've got a couple of months coming up where there's going to be lots of things going on, or you suddenly get a phone call from somebody who wants a card the following day, a great way of doing a quick card. So we've got the opposite effect. Again, you would take a lot longer to do your colouring in. I don't know about you guys, but I am leaking. It's so warm in here, you wouldn't believe it. I'm going to look as if I've had a shower when we come out. So I hope there's lots of you have watched and that you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with this box very much. And again, as a lot of you know, this year, this sort of last 7-8 months have not been the easiest for me, but crafting is my escape, and I'm very lucky. My office, half craft room, so I've got a little space where I can go and do a little bit of crafting if I want to. Now I think if we can move all this, I might do the thanks a bunch. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we'll go for that. But before we do that, I'm just going to add, no, I'll put my thanks a bunch on first. What do I do with my plates? There we go. Ooh. This is a very big plate for a very small die. Okay, put that on there. I know most people put their dies the other way, but I like to be able to see where it is on the paper, so I'm not wasting paper. Back to being a little bit careful with my craft supplies. So wind that through, wind it back so I don't have to drag the machine over. Hopefully we'll have got a nice impression. Oh, we have. Fab. Let's get rid of those. Let's pop this out. So the other great thing with these, and one thing I always look for with dies, is I call them pokey holes. I don't know whether release holes they are, but to have the right number to be able to just get your die out really quickly, like that. So, I thought I had brought a little pointer. I haven't, so I'm going to do what I wouldn't normally do. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of this. So I would probably do this with a fine tip normally, but it's not appearing, so little tiny bits should stay on, hopefully. If you've got to do this, try and go for the thickest. Are we coming out? Yes, we are. The thickest bits, so the glue doesn't show. Sorry, bit of dead air in the camera there. Take your little strands off. Oh, stuck to me. Everything is reacting really differently. I'm sure you're all finding that with your crafting. So we pop thanks a bunch. Is it going to stick? Yep, ish. And then I've got some real bling. I do like gems, and I just want these randomly to look a bit sort of dewdroppy. And that's your fourth card. So let's turn it round to here. So you can see the effect you get by doing that over the page sort of stamping. You see that we've got
To the left.
to the left, to the right, to the left. And that's your last one. So we've actually made 4 cards. I have still got loads of stuff left in my box. I've got toppers left, I've still got card left to make more sunflowers. I keep every little bit, I don't know where my other one's gone, every tiny bit of cardstock I hang on to, because it might be a little bit of green that you can get a leaf out of, it might be a little bit of yellow that you can get a baby sunflower out of, the edge of your black card that you take off when you make your card blank. That might do for the centre of your sunflower. So every tiny bit, just keep it in the box, keep everything with it, and you too will be able to do lots of cards quite quickly. It's a really easy box to work with. Sunflower images, they make people smile. You can send them for most occasions. So in there we've got a happy birthday, we've got a thank you, we've got a fairly generic one that you could use for anything, and they, for me, any occasion, because they will always raise a smile. So, and I think, if I'm right in saying that there's quite a lot of sunflowers that feature in sort of mental health charities and things like that, badges and things. I did have, and I don't know, is there? No, it's not. I did have an actual 3D one on a stem, but I can't find it. Otherwise I would have shown you, because you can get your, I've got to say this carefully now, flower forming foam out and make 3D flowers, and you'll find that in the booklet, I think it's Nikki that has done some really beautiful 3D projects with this. So that's my take on our Papercraft Society box. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you joined us, any questions, I'll be on Facebook later on, and I will put any measurements on that anybody wants and little instructions as to how to do the cards. I've really enjoyed this. It's really made me smile this afternoon. It's very hot, and my face is leaking now and dripping onto the mat. So I think we're about at time to sign off. So thank you very much and enjoy